Although we finished on kind of a quiet note to close the week, we've obviously gotten into the weekend. We're still seeing lower volume here. It doesn't seem like it's going to stay quiet for very long. And I want to show you guys just a couple things that have set up here as we get through the weekend and into the early part of next week. We are seeing massive shorting against the market this weekend, and hopefully we can get a little bit of push the opposite direction as the days progress. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this week, in terms of BTC and most assets in the crypto market, has in fact been green. And that's a very promising sign. It's definitely been a wild week of ups and downs. We had our FOMC meeting. We got our rate cuts that we expected. We got a little bit of a hawkish tone from the Fed. But yet, despite that, we've continued to make some progress, slow, steady progress, and that's fine. And what I find very interesting about this is there are a lot of people trying to paint this negative, bearish picture in the crypto market right now. And I'm not saying we can't move to the downside, but usually when people are shouting from the hilltops and saying, oh, this has to happen, this is what's going to happen, the market tends to move the opposite direction. If you guys remember, with our rate cuts that came on Wednesday, a lot of people were saying, oh, the market's going to crash. Oh, the market's going to crash. It did the exact opposite. In fact, we rallied. We looked very good. Now, obviously, the last couple of days has been a little bit different of a story. Very low volume yesterday. We had some profit taking take place yesterday. And now we're staying in the weekend where volume is a little bit lower. It's about 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time right now. And we'll see where we head to as the weekend progresses. But I find it kind of interesting. A lot of people right now are trying to call for, 90K BTC. They're saying, oh yeah, we're going to fall below 100K. We need to get down to those ranges. We got to close these CME gaps from all the way back here. And what I find very wild about this is a lot of people, they have a very short-term memory. Last market cycle, we had several CME gaps that took place on the way up that were not closed until the bear market cycle. There are several of them actually right in this zone here. I'm not going to zoom in on them right now, but you guys can see one right here in December of 2020. Coincidentally enough, that's where we're at, what it seems like, at least currently. There's one that took place basically at the start of, or very end of 2020, almost at the start of 2021. And then we obviously had some very exciting times following that. And right now, a lot of the metrics we're seeing in the market are very similar to what we saw at that point in time. There's a lot of conviction in the market. You're not shaking as many people as you once did. There's some really big signs that we might be on the verge of a big USDT dominance drop. Right now, it looks like we're getting the rejection at that 20-day moving average, just like we've been over this last week or so. So it's looking like we might be on the verge of another mass capital push into the crypto market. Now, obviously, there's no guarantees. This isn't financial advice or anything like that. But although things are quiet right now, I don't think they're going to be quiet for very long. First of all, Total 3 is obviously on the verge of a potential push yet again. The Total 2 is fighting resistance at about 1.74, 1.75 trillion, trying to again extend to higher highs there. We're trying to get back above, those were all-time highs that we set. So we're teetering right on the edge of a potential big push to the upside. But the big thing we're fighting against right now is major short leverage in the crypto market. You guys can see that over the course of basically the last 24 to 48 hours, there have been massive shorts filling in positions right above where price is currently at. In fact, at about 116K is where this stops, and there's a really thick concentration at about 118K. But right now, we've gotten to this point where we have a very tight compression. It's basically between 115K and 116K BTC, and that is where the major volatility starts. Me personally, I would not be surprised if we do not make a move at all this weekend. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but it would not surprise me. And then we have to wait and see what Monday brings, the exciting Mondays that have been very red as of late. Maybe we'll get an inverse Monday, maybe we won't. But right now, these are record levels in terms of open interest in the crypto market. There's over $220 billion in open interest in the space. There is very heavy betting. This is going to bring massive, massive volatility. And all we need really is just conviction to hold, and we need speculators to start to re-enter. Okay. When you set FOMO in motion, you can get stuck chasing assets. And that's what it really feels like we need in the space. I want to remind everybody that BTC is still broken out above trend. It has been broken out since all the way back here on actually September 11th. So 9 days now, BTC has been broken out above trend. This is the highest, the longest breakout we've had Actually, this one that we had back here in mid-August did not last that long. We obviously fell back into structure, but you can feel a lot of the tides in the market turning right now. And as long as we don't get any bad news, as long as we don't get any, major capitulation over the course of the weekend, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. That's kind of my thoughts on this. We'll obviously see what happens. Monday is going to be a big day. If Monday doesn't dump, we might have a very, very good week ahead. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know what you think is ahead. We have really high interest in the crypto market right now. Obviously, there has been some big spot ETF approvals. There are more coming in a very short period of time. We have the Clarity Act going through the Senate as well. I mean, there's a lot of things to get excited about, especially over the next several weeks here. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.